The billionaire CEO was thrown off the building by a ruthless assassin, but the very next second, a little girl actually lifted the CEO with one hand, flew up from downstairs, and angrily warned everyone, "If you dare bully my dad, are you tired of living?" But this little girl was originally a child prodigy of the divine realm, and the daughter of an angel and a human. Born with divine powers, she was always mischievous in the divine realm. One day, she stole the divine beast next to God's palace and secretly took it home, then proudly told her mother, "As long as I leave it at the door, we'll never have to worry about evil spirits breaking in and stealing the food I prepared." But the girl's nature made the angel extremely worried, fearing she would be punished by God. To make her daughter obedient, the angel gave her a jade pendant and told her to go to the human world to find her real father. The little girl thought about the delicious food in the human world, and before she even looked carefully at the photo her mother transformed of her father, her greedy appetite made her leave already, leaving her mother alone, worried and standing in place. When the girl first arrived in the human world, she saw a grandma giving out free steamed buns. She was just about to step forward to ask for one when she noticed the billboard upstairs slip from the worker's hands, about to fall on the kind grandma below. So she immediately rushed forward, caught the billboard steadily with magic, spun it a few times in her hand, and then threw it away. The shocked grandma quickly came forward, asking about the girl's situation. After hearing the girl was fine, she finally felt relieved. Looking at the girl in front of her, she couldn't help but ask about the girl's family. When she learned the little girl was only 7 and was even an orphan, she couldn't help but think of her own granddaughter she had never found. Believing her granddaughter was still alive, she figured she would be about the same age. When Grandma went home, she saw her son missing his daughter and thought of the little girl she met today. Suddenly coming up with an idea, she immediately went to tell her son, "Your daughter has been found." Seeing the surprise on her son's face, Grandma knew her decision was right. The next day, Grandma went to find the girl again and asked if she was willing to come home with her and recognize her son as her father. The little girl happily asked Grandma, "Does my dad's house have delicious food?" After getting a positive answer, she went home with Grandma. Seeing the CEO being pushed out by his assistant, the girl happily ran up and called him Dad. Seeing her son finally not so gloomy anymore, Grandma couldn't help but sigh. Her decision was indeed right. But little did she know, the CEO had overheard yesterday the conversation between his mother and his assistant. He knew the girl wasn't his biological daughter, but someone his mother brought to comfort him. At that moment, the little girl's stomach growled with hunger. Grandma immediately told the maid to serve food. But to everyone's surprise, the little girl's appetite was enormous. The whole table of food was gone in less than 2 minutes. That night, the CEO held the jade pendant left by his wife, missing his wife and daughter. Little did he know, the girl in front of him was actually his real daughter. The little girl looked at him sweetly, wanting him to tell her a bedtime story. Watching the girl fall asleep, listening to the story, the CEO couldn't help but think of his daughter, but the next second, the girl punched him off the bed. This made the CEO secretly decide never to sleep with her again. The next day, the CEO, who was planning to go to the company, was told by his assistant that the vice president not only transferred company assets, but also planned to hold a shareholders meeting to remove him from his position. To protect the company, the CEO quickly had his assistant push him to attend the shareholders meeting. But as soon as they arrived, they were blocked by the vice president's men, forcing him to go to the rooftop. To protect his mother's safety, the CEO had no choice but to let his assistant push him up. But as soon as they got there, they saw a group of assassins trying to force him to sign a share transfer agreement. Meanwhile, the girl who had just woken up found that no one was home. She planned to use magic to see what her father was doing, but unexpectedly saw the scene of her father being threatened. Worried her father would get hurt, she quickly used magic to find him. At that moment, the CEO was angrily staring at the assassins in front of him, saying he would never sign the agreement, then threw the agreement away. But his actions enraged the assassins, and they immediately grabbed his mother and assistant, trying to threaten him into signing. Seeing his mother about to be thrown off the building for the sake of her safety, the CEO had no choice but to agree to sign. But to his shock, the assassins didn't keep their word to let him and his mother go. CEO. Instead, they ordered their men to throw him down. Just then, the girl finally arrived and caught the CEO with her magic. Seeing the girl lift the CEO with one hand and fly up, the assassins froze in shock. It wasn't until she placed the CEO on the ground that they remembered their mission. So their leader immediately ordered his men to attack the girl again, but the little girl wasn't afraid at all. With just a few simple moves, she subdued them all. Seeing all his men fail, the leader had no choice but to fight himself, but was kicked to the ground by the girl. The others wanted to join in, but were hit by the girl's powerful sound magic attack, clutching their heads and falling to the ground in pain. Only then did they finally realize they were no match at all for the little girl in front of them. Terrified, they quickly ran away. Now safe, the CEO received the shareholders' decision, knowing he still had one last chance. That was within 1 month, to secure a massive order to keep control of the company. So the CEO decided to attend the richest man's birthday banquet to secure that billion-dollar order and get the company running again. But what he didn't know was he wasn't the only one going to the banquet. The company's vice president was also going.